Welcome to Riga, the capital of Latvia, where Brazil and Montenegro are opening the high-stakes Olympic qualifying tournament here at Arena Riga. Julia Montesano and Mark Clark with you in commentary. And Mark, this is it. 6 teams, 1 ticket to Paris. It's all on the line here in Riga.
Well, these teams are going to want to play 5 games here. They want to go all the way through. Both these teams are coming off great World Cup campaigns. Both really did show they belong at the top table. And now it comes down to, this is such a cutthroat competition. You've got to win it. There's no like play for this and that. It's about winning the competition. And this Montenegrin team come here really mixed performances in their preparation, but with qualities which on the inside, they're a real tough nut to crack. Being introduced to the crowd here, all about tempo for me, Julia. Can they control the tempo against a really explosive Brazilian team?
Absolutely, a really high-octane Brazilian team they're coming up against. Of course, Montenegro, as you saw, the 17th ranked team in the world. They've never been to the Olympics before. As you mentioned, Mark, showed promising signs of the World Cup. They finished 11th in their second appearance, and they're playing in their first Olympic qualifying tournament. So they'll have to bring the energy from the get-go.
Well, and they bring 8 players back from that World Cup, and 8 players also played in the international competition window in February. So continuity for Coach Ledonic is there. Can they, and obviously one of the players they missed in February was Vucic, and he's obviously an NBA star, and he brings a lot of punch up front. But can they compete with this Brazilian team that also bring 8 players back and play at a tempo?
12th ranked team in the world, the Brazilians. They'll be looking to book their ticket to their 13th Olympics tournament, and they'll probably want to rectify a bit of a disappointing World Cup where they finished 13th. What do you think we can expect from them today?
Well, I think the thing for them finishing 13th, they lost Nito in the first game, and they were in a very, very tough group, and they came up against one of the stories of the World Cup in Latvia. So they had some real tough things, and they just came up short. But Iago's back, but he's been injured, won't start. But this team is fun to watch. If you like it fast, you like it up-tempo, that's Brazil.
We saw Caboclo have a really good patch of warm-up games as well, entering the court now and getting his high fives. The coach on the screen now giving his final words. It's a really good atmosphere here in Riga, but let's now pause to hear the national anthems of Brazil and Montenegro.
National anthem of Montenegro. National anthem of Brazil.
see the two coaches and the two teams in general come together and exchange a few gifts in the middle of the court. Of course, it's a great tradition in world basketball, and it will continue for the rest of the tournament here in Latvia, of course, and around the other Olympic qualifying tournaments too, in Spain, Puerto Rico and Greece, all tipping off in the next few days. See the Brazil fans in force, the Montenegro fans, of course, traveling as well. We're expecting a big crowd for the next game as well. Latvia, Georgia, expect that to be a sellout, but some great colour around the stadium. The fans traveling from all over the world to see these two teams attempt to book a ticket to Paris, an all-important ticket to Paris, Mark.
Well, it's still the pinnacle of the game. It's still the pinnacle that every player wants to play it, as here are the three referees.
Today's referees are Ademir Zurapovic, Kato Takaki and Jenna Reno from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Japan and the USA. A big privilege for the referees as well as the players in this tournament. We'll now take a closer look at each of the teams, and of course we're going to start with Montenegro on screen now. As I mentioned, playing in their first Olympic qualifying tournament, aiming to qualify for their first Olympics as well. As we look at their starting five on screen, it's Vucevic, Hadžibegovic, Radoncic, Popovic and Herimark. So a strong starting five.
Well, Coach Radovic has gone for experience because he's got some real young talent on the bench in Jovanovic, and the guard play is going to be so important for Montenegro. This is the man, though, Nikola Vucic, NBA quality, and as you can see in terms of his season stats in the NBA, you're in the NBA double-doubling it, you are a major force. Had a great World Cup, but can they get the ball to him, and can he be a factor controlling that inside? And it is really down to, can Kendrick Perry really set the tone for them? Popovic is so experienced, but it's about controlling tempo and getting inside touches for that Montenegrin lineup.
Let's now turn our attention to Brazil, Mark, and we know they've tasted Olympic success. They're one of only 3 teams in this Olympic qualifying tournament to do so, but they'll need to give everything to reach the pinnacle, because we know they missed out in Tokyo. They were there in Rio as the host nation, but tonight a really interesting starting five. We see Felicio, Marcelino, Santos, Jorginho and Gias as the starting five.
You said it, Marcelino Huertas over 40, still doing it at the highest level. And it's not who's starting, it's who's not starting. Obviously, Iago hasn't played in the prep games, and we're going to get a look at him now. He was so important to Brazil in the World Cup. You can see his numbers there, nearly 15 points a game at an enormous 45% from the three-point line, as well as those 7 assists. But he hasn't played in prep. What injury problems does he have? Or is it really that Coach Petrovic says, I need more punch coming off the bench? Because Marcelino Huertas, that experience, nothing's going to faze him. And you mentioned earlier on that Caboclo not starting as well, has double-doubled in every prep game. He was a story for him. He's one of the most exciting players in world basketball, in my opinion. Had a great World Cup. And again, so Coach Petrovic, who's been there before, don't forget, he's taken a team in 2016 through a qualifier and got them to an Olympic Games. He knows what it takes, so punch off the bench may be the big factor for him. And this just also mentioned, as we look at this Montenegro lineup, they've got a Brazilian legend on the coaching staff in Thiago Spiller. And I think that really adds something to Coach Petrovic's staff. And I think that this experience on the bench could be a real plus for Brazil as they try and do something they've never done before, come through a qualifier to get to an Olympics. They've done it in the past by being a continental champion or a host. Now they've got to do it in that cutthroat qualification process.
All the big stars are here in Riga. You can see Vucevic heading onto the floor, the captain of this Montenegrin team. Can they make history? Can they reach the Olympics for the first time in their history? Kendrick Perry, we know he'll be a dominant force. And the Brazilians, well, the names just keep getting bigger and bigger. Heaps of NBA experience, past and present in this lineup. We know they rise up for the big occasions, and they're going to love it here in Riga. The 41-year-old, he seizes to amaze us, Marcelino Huertas. He's getting onto the floor now. We sense this, if he does get through, and if his team does get through it, we'll safely say it's his last Olympics, but there's all to play for here right now.
We said during the World Cup, we were fortunate to be there in Jakarta. We thought, oh, is this the last time we're going to see him? What a great career. He got to second in the all-time assist list in the World Cup. And here he is. There is no stopping this man, and he's a testament to what you can achieve if you work hard and look after your body. He is a legend for Brazil.
Awaiting tip-off here in Riga. Welcome to Arena Riga in Latvia. It is Montenegro and Brazil facing off in the first game of the Riga Olympic qualifying tournament. Good crowd building up for the game so far. First game of this Olympic qualifying tournament. Of course, we've got Georgia and Latvia to come after this. Philippines and Cameroon, the other teams involved in this exciting tournament. As Perry looks to get things started for Montenegro. Popovic now. Gets it back to Perry. You sense he'll have a big role to play today, Kendrick Perry. Dishes it out to Radoncic. Vucevic now, he's been all the talk so far. Double-double machine. Can't get the scoring started. It's good by Montenegro. They're keeping the ball in their half. Perry now. Popovic drives, dishes, Radoncic. Still can't get that first bucket, and now it's Brazil's turn. Jorginho. Gets it to Diaz. Backing down on Hadzibegovic. That'll be a good matchup to watch throughout the night.
Well, both teams going inside. It's a great sign for Montenegro to get those inside touches. And defensively, Brazil will try and force Perry the whole time to work with it, but you expect that little bit of tension in the first few possessions.
Vucevic gets it to Radoncic. Future of this Montenegrin team, Dino Radoncic. And Vucevic, no surprise to see him opening up the scoring.
Exciting time for Montenegro. As you said, half the team is under 25, and you know they've got some experience out there, but the future is very bright, and Radoncic is one of the brightest stars on that roster.
Marcelinho drives, and Vucevic is right there. Luckily, he gets it back though. Probably wasn't the right choice.
Should have put the first one up. They played the pass on that penetration, and Huertas, you'd expect him to recognize that and finish it.
Oh, what a dime from Perry, and Popovic is happily finishing that one off.
And they've really given Popovic a lot of touches, and that matchup with Huertas, they might try and really force that issue against the veteran.
Here he is. Bounce pass to Felicio, too hot to handle. High stakes basketball means those moments are going to happen, those nervous moments, but we have a look at this pass from Perry to Popovic. It's a good sign of what's to come for this Montenegrin team with, like you said, Mark, a really young brand of youth coming through. Kendrick Perry spinning around. Still got the ball in his hands, does Perry. Now shares it around. Popovic ends up with it. Dishes to Hadzibegovic. Nice bit of defense there from Santos, and they're off and running here, Brazil.
That's great defensive transition. Popovic, in many ways, has been the guy in the first few minutes at both ends of the floor. And the tempo that Montenegro is setting, they're getting the tempo they want. They're spending time with the basketball, trying to explore their options. They want to make this a shorter game if they possibly can. And Brazil trying to force the tempo have been really, what is a very technical game at the moment. That's a Montenegrin style game.
Here is the main man, Petar Popovic. Sharing it with Vucevic. Felicio tried his best to stop him. Here is Popovic again. And Brazil can now try and transition. Jorginho, Felicio, Marcelinho. And no one there with him. Luckily, Jorginho was there as a backup. And can't get it to go. First trip to the free throw line for either team tonight.
It's interesting for me. I thought Montenegro, looking at, we'd watch practice, and I thought they may have struggled to contain Brazil with their ability to put the ball and play off on the floor and play off the bounce. But at the moment, they're keeping their guy in front of them. I think partly I was expecting Iago to play more, or start anyway. And at the moment, Montenegro are controlling the way this game is being played. And that's something Coach Petrovic is not going to want to see. They really haven't had inside touches. They haven't really got to the ring effectively. it's a great start. Coach Radovic is going to be a very content coach at the moment. Early days, obviously.
It's always important to get a good start against this fast-paced Brazilian team. And here they are again, Montenegro. It's in the right hands. Vucevic couldn't complete that circus shot, but we'll head to the free throw line for his efforts, and the fans like that one.
I don't think they can play him one-on-one. If they let him catch it deep in the block, I think they're going to struggle playing him one-on-one the whole game. The entry pass was far too simple. Just change the angle, threw it in there, and no help. He's going to get fouled or score. His percentages are so good in that area of the floor, and he is, he is a solid, very, very solid free throw shooter. Big man, shoots the ball way into the high 70%. So this is a great start for Montenegro.
Vucevic now for his second free throw. We know about his numbers in the World Cup. Nearly 20 points per game he averaged. Let's go with nearly 9 rebounds as well. And you can see Iago there on screen. And does Coach Petrovic pull the trigger and make some subs? It hasn't been the ideal start for Brazil, although Marcelinho shot just falls short.
Not a lot of second chance opportunities with Vucevic on the rebound.
Vucevic now has a chance from beyond the perimeter. And Santos happily cleans up the boards. And again, Montenegro find the ball. Popovic, a really solid start from him, although that time just a bit too hot to handle. And Guy Santos stepping around Perry. That was a nice move by the Golden State Warriors forward.
And that's what we were expecting to see. Hands in passing lanes, deflections, opportunities to get out in transition.
Perry now got the elevation and the foul. He's moving quickly, Kendrick Perry. He's sort of emulating what the Brazilian guards usually do.
And in preparation, and it's been Montenegro's issue in the qualifiers as well for the Eurobasket. They do struggle at times to score. You'd have thought Brazil may have just said, well, we'll contain you, make some jump shots, but they're being broken down on the dribble and they're allowing pass penetration. So Montenegro couldn't have asked for a better start. The score's obviously only a 6-5 scoreline, but he ended at the 7-5 scoreline with a made free throw. But the way the game is being played, Montenegro will be very happy with the tempo, very happy with the options they've been able to get. And the Vucevic three, he shoots 35% from beyond the arc, so it's not a bad option if he's wide open.
Marcelinho also pretty capable from beyond the arc.
Yes.
I wonder if he'll pull the trigger and go for it. It's not quite working out for them, just silly little fumbles.
Yep.
It's unusual to watch as someone, you watch Brazil for so long and it's not quite their style of play.
It's a very tough, the timing of this competition obviously has to be when it is in terms of qualifying, but very little time for teams to get into preparation. That's why continuity, as Lourdes gets the two, is important. And both teams come here with a lot of players that have played in the last competition, so it's surprised that Brazil is stuttering a little bit.
Perry, though, not stuttering. He's had a really nice start. Vucevic stepping. Radoncic can't finish it off, but Vucevic is there to complete his own work.
It's great movement away from the ball on the penetration, always giving the passer options.
Oh, Marcelinho's starting to heat up now. This is good signs for Brazil.
It's like a roll back to years move, that little stop and pop as he penetrates.
Perry trying to emulate the move on the opposite end, and there you go. Whatever you can do, I can do better, he says.
Amazing, isn't it? We saw that little hesitant start now, and now everyone's in a little bit of rhythm. People showing us what they are really capable of doing.
Marcelinho gets his own rebound. Up to 6 points, the veteran. Vucevic stuffing the stat sheet already. 6 points for him too. Can he get it back here? Tips it in to go with it as well. He is a machine.
Oh, he's hungry on the glass, isn't he? He went after the first shot that he missed. There was no way he wasn't getting his own. And there's enough bodies on that Brazilian team to start playing a little more physical on him, but he is tough to guard.
Jorginho. Felicio can't quite grab the boards. Haven't called his name that much. He seems to be struggling a bit with that Vucevic matchup.
Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
who wouldn't?
Absolutely. It's an understatement, isn't it? Perry now. Popovic has a look from beyond the arc and trades it. First three of the game, and it prompts a timeout. Montenegro off to a hot start here in Riga. Very nice look here from Petar Popovic. That's nothing but net. Really good start to the game. This guard from Montenegro. Of course, it forced the Brazil timeout. 3 minutes left in the first term. Let's head into the huddle now.
Agora você qualquer bem está com Popovic, ok? Hay que pensar eso de Montes. Está siempre por encima de lado. Necesitamos defender. ¿Cuántos faltas se llevan? Nada. Sin faltas, sin nada. Entrar en mí. Dos bolas perdidas. Una bola. Atacar. Hay. Solo penetrar y abrir y atacar, ok? Es uno. ¡Oh! Necesitamos tocar. ¡Vamos!
He had to take the timeout, Coach Petrovic, because he's just unable to contain Montenegro in transition or in the half court, whether it be dribble penetration to the pop to Popovic for the three or Popovic on the pass. It's too easy for them to get the options they want. That's just wide open. Yeah, like Wirtz got hurt by helping off one pass away, wide open shooter, and it doesn't matter how poorly or well you've shot the ball in preparation. When you're that open at this level, you're going to knock it down. Really interesting now. Iago's in the game. Let's see how healthy he really is and see what tempo he brings.
Caboclo, Benici, Mendel, and Santos. So Petrovic has emptied the bench at that timeout.
Every one of those guys is a scorer too.
Let's see if Caboclo can get it done. Instead, it heads back Montenegro's way. A 17-9 lead at the moment for this 17th ranked team in the world. And you can see Marcelinho on the bench, a bit animated, a bit, I suppose, frustrated with the scoreline at the moment. Probably not what they expected.
Well, it's the how it's happening that's the most worrying thing. Getting broken down as often on the dribble. I don't mind the foul. I mean, that's the first time that anyone has put any physical presence against Vucevic, and Caboclo's come in and said, hey, I'm in the game now. Let's go against me, and he's looking at the official saying, hey, come on now. There's just two big guys playing, but like the fact he's got physical.
Oh, beautiful from Popovic to Radonjic, unbelievable.
Wow, Petar Popovic is 28 years old now. He's solid. Let's say he's solid. He's a very good, solid player. He's playing like a superstar at the moment.
Here's Iago, speaking of superstars, tries to get under Radonjic, but he was right there to battle him.
But Judy, there you have it. Montenegro containing their man. Brazil not containing anybody.
Really doing it on both ends at the moment. Yeah. Great to see from this team. Popovic, Vucevic, 8 points and 4 rebounds already for him. Perry now has a look. Can't knock it down. Some fast legs there by Santos, and he breathes some energy into this Brazilian team.
Wow, let's just give some credit to Caboclo there on the play, but defensive play before, really stood his ground, forced the pass, generated the turnover, and then again we see how quick Santos is down the floor. He's gone. That's a super pass.
Oh, unbelievable. It's the stuff you dream of, it's the stuff you practice and hope that you execute. You can see Hadžibergović heading to the bench, and coming on for his first minutes is Luka Bogavac. Simonovic also entering the game.
This is the key now for Montenegro. They've got a lot of experience in the first 8-9 players. And got to keep this momentum and tempo and intensity. Can't miss a beat against at this level of game.
Vucevic and Perry are the ones that stay on for this team. Radonjic also still out there. Perry and Iago. What a great matchup that's going to be. Perry steps back on him. And Mendel now can run the ball in transition for Brazil. Iago back with it at the top. Can he start to make a scoring impact similar to what we saw at the World Cup? Caboclo, it's a nice dive, and he's happy to jam that one.
Straight away, and I love the fact Radovic has taken the time out. He's seen the change, doesn't want that to become a factor, let any momentum go to Brazil. But Iago straight in the game, shows that little bit of extra quickness, and the athlete, and there's Caboclo going to the ring. And Caboclo's had an impact, so Petrovic, as we said, wants some impacts off the bench, and he has got it in abundance.
Let's go to the Montenegro timeout now. So great start by this Montenegro team. Kendrick Perry on screens played a big part of that. Petrovic hasn't had much answers for Brazil. He's cleaned the bench out. That seems to provide a little bit of a spark, but Nikola Vucevic, he's been the star of the game so far. 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Wow. And he really was able to bully his way to those points until Caboclo came in. That matchup has at least redressed some of that balance for Brazil. But like the fact they're coming out of the timeout with some pressure up the floor. And I think that's going to be a factor. They're going to play this over 40 minutes to just try and wear down Perry, because he's going to have to play major minutes at the point, Kendrick Perry. They try and make him work the whole time.
Change for Montenegro out of that timeout too. We see Slavkovic come in for his first minutes of the game. Let's see if he can get involved here. Just waiting for that three-point shot. Perry finds Simonovic instead, but Caboclo meets him. Iago now with pace, feeds Caboclo again. Mendel with the look from beyond the arc. Bogovac is happy to claim that rebound. Slavkovic thought about it. He's been knocking him down in practice all week. Slavkovic from beyond the arc. Vucevic to Perry. That combo working wonders so far for this team. And again, the rebounding's been on their side. Just working a bit harder on that defense a bit at the moment.
They won't be unhappy with the Perry pull-up, because it's a tough shot. If he makes that, you've got to say it's a great job, and therefore you choose to make him put the ball on the floor. But the disappointing thing is not everybody went after the glass. And they should just be looking at the way that Caboclo has come into the game. He's brought that energy. He needs some help, though. Can't deal with that on his own.
Igor Drobniak onto the floor, along with Alexa Ilic. Bogovac, his first points of the game.
Right, a 20-year-old straight in.
And this youth from Montenegro, really impressive. For Brazil, don't they have heaps of experience? Iago giving Drobniak a bit of a taste of what's to come in his career. Iago stepping past Simonovic. The mismatch hurt him in the end. And now Montenegro off, really quick transition, and Slavkovic finishes it off. How about the pace from both teams? Caboclo finishes the first term off with a jam. And what an athletic finish we've had. We saw Slavkovic on one end, and a big dime there to Caboclo. Happy to oblige, his second dunk of the game. Brazil keeping in touch with Montenegro, but it was all about this Montenegrin team. And at the end of the first quarter, it is Montenegro 23, leading Brazil 15.
Well, we asked the question, didn't we? Which Montenegrin team is going to rock up to the game? It's the team that scored 58 points in a half of basketball in the second prep game that they had. There's the numbers, 47 and 33. It's not as if like you're going, wow, whatever. It's more of the defensive effort that Montenegro put on the floor and challenged Brazil around the ring, as we're going to look at the best plays of that first half. And it was all red. It's no other way of describing it. As the game got underway, they got inside, they penetrated, and they threw it inside for Vucevic, and they got what they wanted, and it wasn't until Petrovic took the timeout that they actually got anything out of their defense, Brazil. There's so many opportunities that they got broken down.
So the likes of Santos and Marcelinho provide a bit of a spark for Brazil, and you're right, that energy off the bench, it's essentially what he was aiming for. We know that he didn't start the lineup that we thought he would. Perhaps it was a bit of a plan now. Let them get off to that start and then have a bit of brute force at the end. Who knows?
Absolutely right, I think, Judy. You're absolutely right in that. And if we go back to that Popovic three where they got broken down on the ball and they had to help and there's an open three. Well, since Iago's been in the game, they're making the guy with the ball make plays. And that's always harder. That ball movement does really hurt you. And both teams are going to be deep. But in the first game of the tournament, coaches are looking for the lineups that are going to gel and work. And Caboclo and Iago just so complimentary. But great timeout by Coach Radovic. He responded to that and he re-established the 8-point lead. So first quarter, 100% belongs to Montenegro.
Download the Courtside app if you haven't already. Latest news and highlights, not just here in Riga, but all around the world. All there for you in one hit. As we tip off the second period here in Riga, the capital city of Latvia, for this Olympic qualifying tournament. It is Montenegro 23, leading Brazil 15. Caboclo goes in again.
They can't cope with him. The same way I said that they can't play Vucevic one-on-one, they can't play him one-on-one either. Different ways, so quick. But I don't think one-on-one, those two, both coaches are going to have to find ways to deal with those matchups. He had a 100% game in prep, Caboclo, and then he was just so tough to guard on the dribble like that.
Top scored in all the prep games for Brazil. We know he has NBA experience. He's been playing in Germany. He's been playing in Serbia. He's got a lot of tricks. And we're going to see him again here, flush it! Athletic finish from Caboclo. It's been the flavor of his game so far. He just wants to dunk everything he touches.
Got to milk him for as much as you can.
He wants to be on the highlight reel. Drobnjak to Simonovic. How can Montenegro respond? Simonovic puts up an interesting shot, then gets it back. Good work there by the young center.
Well, I was a little concerned for Montenegro. Simonovic and Radonic, would they be able to cope the athleticism? The answer is absolutely yes. Doing a great job on the inside. Great job being the aggressor.
Mendel on the left. Caboclo can't get the finishing shot, and a couple of bodies hit the deck. Bit of physicality and athleticism and all the great traits as we see this dive from Iago to Caboclo. They are working really well together so far, Mark.
Well, there's the highlight. That's what people will be getting on their phones and going, wow, look at this guy. But that's all right for the highlight, but the score is 25-17, and the team with all the energy is the team in red. Montenegro is just a superstar.
Drobnjak.
There's that energy again, just outworking their opponent on the glass. They look like a team that wants to be a first-time qualifier for the Olympic Games.
They just seem more hungry at the moment, and they're doing it well without Vucevic on the floor too. It's going to be a crucial part for them to make sure Brazil doesn't get away from them, because they've opened up a really handy buffer.
Absolutely right.
Simonovic is showing promising signs in his early minutes. Garbett steps off Benice, and Ilic finishes it off.
Every single category about effort, work rate, and just sheer aggressiveness. There's only one team in the game so far, and that's Montenegro. Great effort on the glass.
Didi Lozada on for his first minutes. Iago gets fouled on the way in. He's super hard to defend, Iago. Just gets low. He's already a small player, as we know, but he gets low and he really challenges his opposing point guard, especially the young point guards in this Montenegrin team.
Brazil just need to keep that tempo throughout. If they haven't got that really initial option on the break, look at secondary options, keep it moving. Don't make this a half-court game, because Iago can just, in broken play, can just break you down.
Lozada on for his first look. Can't bake it in. Garbets. The 20-year-old, you see your debut. feeds Slavkovic, and he obliges with a big three-pointer.
How good has he been coming off the bench? He got to the ring and scored on the break. He gets his feet set on the three-point line. It's a 13-point lead, and there's only one team at the game.
Unbelievable from Montenegro. They just keep on going. Caboclo again! How many times is he going to dunk that ball?
It's a good job he's here for Brazil at the moment, because he really is the only one at the level you'd expect Brazil to be at. All over the glass. Great putback.
8 points already for Caboclo. He's only played the 6 minutes. What a start.
But they're going to have to rotate him. I mean, he's real an energy type guy, and he's foul prone when he gets a little tired. That's his second foul. So he picked up that early one, and it just caught him on the penetration.
And the bench loved that three from Slavkovic, and why wouldn't you? A really sweet shot. Just biding his time in that corner. Simonovic now. Met by Diaz. That's better defense there from Brazil. And now Caboclo has to use his pace. Gets underneath. Can't really put it back. I don't really know how to call it.
That was 4 feet, not 2 feet.
Yeah.
Hence the miss, but
didn't realize how much time he had.
What an athlete, though.
Simonovic, speaking of athletes, dishes it out. Slavkovic for back-to-back triples! And the crowd love that one.
If Brazil don't keep their man in front of them, that's going to be the story of the game. The penetration to the kick, the long closeouts, it's really hurting Brazil.
Sorry, that was a two-pointer from Slavkovic, but Iago on the opposite end gets himself a bucket. A much-needed one, mind you, as well.
And that's the type of thing I was talking about there. They didn't pull it out to run anything in a half court. They got it down the floor, kept being aggressive, and the defense wasn't set. Play that way, you can get Iago to the hoop. Interesting that Nito's coming to the game. His World Cup ruined in that first game when he got hurt. He's another quality player with Fenerbahce, and I'm excited to see him play, because I was excited to see him play in the World Cup. It'd be great. Him and Iago in the backcourt is an exciting proposition for Brazil.
Absolutely, it feels like it's the right sub to make. They just need a bit of leadership right now. Brazil and Caboclo taps it in.
Well, there you go, right on cue. You need a bit of leadership. Caboclo's the man at the moment.
Absolutely.
It's those 2 fouls that are going to worry that Brazilian bench, though.
Simonovic, he has a go from beyond the arc. And Brazil trying to take advantage without Vucevic on the floor at the moment. Iago, he started to find his feet. Nice pass over Simonovic's shoulder, and Caboclo can't finish off the good work. Igor Drobniak on point guard duties at the moment. Guarded by Iago. In anticipation here, he rises above the defense. Caboclo's there again. Iago has Neto ahead of him. He's going to go on his own, uses GS. Neto. That's a beautiful move from the veteran.
Got Simonovic on a closeout, straightened up. He just went. He was gone before Simonovic knew where he was. His eye is super off the dribble.
Good little run here from Brazil. They're narrowly closing this margin. Simonovic again has an open look. Still can't convert. Iago wants to push the pace for Brazil. Diaz for three. This time.
Still like the tempo. That's where Brazil looked good. Open looks in transition. Starts down this end for them, though.
Simonovic doesn't go for the three this time. Drobniak. Simonovic, oh, he thinks about it. And this time he drains it.
Normally you say, well, I have to think about it, you shouldn't do it, but like, he is a good three-point shooter.
And there's another nice basket from Neto. Geez, he's made a difference since coming on.
Well, if you were going to go with a backcourt that you wanted to be explosive and have points potential, it's on the floor for Brazil right now. as Vucevic returns from Montenegro, and that has got to please Coach Radovic, the way players have come in and spelled Vucevic, and they're still up. Hey, okay, they got the free throw to come, but still up 8, and Vucevic has had a lot of time on the bench. It's a big deal keeping him fresh. And now you've got a tired Caboclo on the floor with 2 fouls. You know, does Coach Petrovic leave him in, or does he get, look to think about the whole? You do not want him picking up his 3rd foul with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
How
Can you play without him?
Yeah, exactly. 4 points, 100%. Make that 5 now. We saw Simonovic on the bench before. He was exhausted. No wonder why. 5 points and 5 rebounds in the absence of Vucevic for that little period. Really put in the work.
How to fulfill your role, right? Come in, really go hard, and then you know you're coming out for the main man.
Here he is. Gets it tucked away from him. Oh, a little circus shot back in.
That's a foul.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it though. Surprised to see.
One of those things where he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was trying to be really smart about it. If he just gave that little, take that space away, it was going to be a back court. Latvia went physically with Richard on that last possession, and he's got to actually manage himself really well right now. He's going to love this challenge of guarding Nikola Vucevic. He's going to love that challenge. He just cannot afford that 3rd foul because they're going to lose so much physicality if he has to sit because of the foul trouble.
Still talking it over here. 35 plays 28 at the moment.
There's no change of possession, surely, so it's what they're trying to talk about is why is it a reset? Well, there was a foul call, that's why it's a reset. So why is there a debate?
I think Coach Petrovic still thinks it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, the referees will sort it out.
Yes. Very capable hands here. Drobniak pushes out Neto, but Caboclo couldn't get past him.
He literally, at the minute, is just a one-man ring protector and ring finisher. They're just playing the game. He runs the 30 meters between the 2 hoops and just plays there. He's just had an impact, huge impact.
So important for him to keep out of that foul trouble, as you mentioned. They really need him at the moment. Popovic, Radoncic, no one could quite get the look in. Marcelinho has Neto ahead of him. How Neto, Caboclo, does he try to go for the slam against Vucevic, and then he gets it in off the break instead.
He runs the floor with a full stop and an exclamation mark after it.
Unbelievable running from the Brazilian big man against the class that is Nikola Vucevic as well. That is no easy task. And Caboclo, well, he is having himself a game. 10 points, 5 rebounds. Let's head into the Montenegro timeout.
We miss not playing playoffs and let's try. Let's go. Let's play special. They just go. Moment double deep play all the way. Special. After that, we can play deep side hands off. Okay. Special deep side hands off. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's try. Let's go. Hey.
So Montenegro still with the 5-point lead, but Bruno Caboclo is here to spoil their party. Have a look at some of these finishes. Doing it on both ends, as you mentioned, Mark. You'll see some really good dunks in this highlight package, rightfully so. But look at this block as well. He's just been so athletic, running the floor. He's really changed this game for Brazil.
100% changed the game. They've got him down for one official block, but he's changed shots. And I think they're going to leave him in, you know, and you know, that's why coaches get paid, you know, decent levels of money to make decisions like this. They've got it back to 5 now. Iago sat down. The game was becoming a bit more Brazilian-like. Wirtz with Neto's got to keep that tempo high. They went into the half 5 down. They'd be happy from where they were.
Absolutely, but carry on! Neto getting in on the block action this time. He These Brazilian veterans still know how to put on a show. Marcelino and Neto. Here he goes again. How Neto from the floor! You're kidding me! He's unstoppable.
But it's that point of making them play, making Montenegro play off the dribble and make tough ones.
Doncic, oh, that's a tough drive.
Super drive, great first step. Seam appeared down the middle, just took it with that first step. But Perry take a tough one, possession before. There's the block. Brazil make a play as opposed to what Montenegro were doing earlier on. Penetration kick, go inside the Vucic. That's a little bit more Montenegrin style and more effective for them. They won't mind the fouls in the way that they're picking them up because the tempo is where they want it to be.
So just like that, it's a 3-point game. As Vucevic hits the deck, another foul. Neto is the one to come in on that occasion. Now Neto, it's his first major tournament since that World Cup injury, of course. He's got a lot to prove, still in his later stages of life. See there.
Well, as Huertas is proving by being here at 41, 22, whatever. Keep yourself in shape. Age is just a number as such. And Neto, the speed on that first step, he's still a hell of a tough player to guard.
So both teams in the bonus now, and means Doncic heads to the line for two. Made his first one. He's had a really positive start to this game, Dino Doncic. A few nice looks, really tough makes. Makes both of his free throws at the stripe. Marcelino.
Much better matchup with Perry on Neto. Perry should have and normally does have the quickness to guard him.
And there you go, snatches it away, and he's off and running. Kendrick Perry goes upstairs! He wants a bit of the highlight reel, not you, Bruno. I want some too.
He flew, did Kendrick Perry. Absolutely flew.
Oh, Neto, beautiful move. Not fouled on the way.
And they went away from the matchup that time. I know it was in transition. But as soon as Neto saw the Popovic's matchup, sticks it straight on the floor. Perry found himself guarding Marcelino Huertas. They can't, they're finding it. Normally you talk about what teams can do strategically for this game at the moment. It really has come down to, can you guard your man? Can you keep your man in front of you? And that's the key for both teams at the moment.
So changes for both teams as well. Ibegovic comes on for Montenegro, and Leo Mendel getting in the game for Brazil. How Neto's just provided a bit of experience since he's come on, a bit of a cool head. He's doing well in his first tournament back from that horrific injury, it must be said, in the World Cup. A really devastating injury. Thought it could have been a cruel blow to his career, but testament to him, he's worked hard in his rehab, he's back here. He wants to get back to the pinnacle that is the Olympic Games.
For the Brazilian fans in the gym, I'm like, every time he reaches over the top, every time he tries to get involved with Vucevic in that scenario, at some point the referee will call that. He is going over him consistently.
Vucevic gets some space, can't convert.
Wow, he'll take that, right? He'll take the fact he's forced into the three-point line. Caboclo's winning that one on points at the moment.
Bit of an errant pass there from Marcelino, a bit uncharacteristic.
Different page. I think him and Neto were looking at a different book on that one. Neto had no idea he was looking at him for the pass.
See the turnover stat there, that's pretty damning. 7-1, Brazil with the 7. Montenegro doing well on the defensive end, as we've mentioned multiple times, as well as providing an offensive spark. That one doesn't roll in for Perry.
And that's the other part of the game Brazil have got better at. Montenegro all over their offensive boards early in the game, and they're starting to clean up the mess on the glass.
Marcelino, oh, that's a beautiful move.
That is trademark Huertas. absolute trademark. The defense takes the roll, he gets into a little hole and just floats one.
And he's quietly worked himself up to 10 points.
Absolutely.
Shooting a nice clip as well. Again, it's it's a sort of a tale of two different teams, right? You've got the youth in Montenegro really shining, but then for Brazil, you've got that experience as well as Caboclo as well. It's a really interesting balance of games here.
Well, Caboclo has definitely been the change with Vucevic. That generates the offensive foul because he moved on the screen. Until Caboclo came in the game, Vucevic looked a different level to everybody on the floor. Caboclo has just been the catalyst for this change that's brought Brazil right back into this.
Vucevic hasn't scored this whole second period. Doncic able to clean up the boards. Hendrik Perry's had a nice game. Petar Popovic got off to that great start and gets fouled by Giaz on the three. Really clever move. You saw him coming his way. He just took that little step to the side, forced the foul. 3 shots now coming up for him. Again, like you mentioned, Brazil just need to watch themselves on those fouls. Petar Popovic at the line. It's in capable hands. It's a 5-time Montenegrin league and a 7-time Montenegrin Cup winner. So he knows about winning.
That's the great thing about for the Montenegro lineup. The guys that have stayed in Montenegro played major minutes on every team they play. They're used to taking big decisions across big games. And the league is a strong league, and Popovic is a great example of how that league has helped him be a really successful player, be a great pro.
Averaged just under 6 points at the World Cup as well, of course, coming off the bench and making that impact. That's a nice bit of numbers to put up there as well.
His team last year, the Pinos played in the Europe Cup, and he's playing 19 minutes a game at a really high level.
Neto. Caboclo wanted another dunk, didn't he? Sense it won't be long before he tastes it again. Marcelinho. Vucevic this time wins out.
Huertas has looked more his own offense than I can remember in a long time. He has, over his career, had huge gains scoring-wise, but obviously latterly has been more of a facilitator. He's got a green light from Coach Petrovic.
Vucevic. No foul called. Good D again from Caboclo. He's really pushing him, and we're going to have a timeout from Brazil with 7 seconds left. Be interested to see what they can come up with in this huddle. Down by 7 at the moment, on the verge of halftime. We'll head into his huddle now.
Marcelinho, mete bola su Raulzinho coge, ataca y tenemos Lucas Díaz abierto y tenemos a Víctor a otro lado abierto. Atacas sin bloqueo, pasa bola a Raúl y atacamos, ¿ok? Todo abierto, corre, viene al rookie para atacar, ¿ok? Con Lucas, ¿ok? Vamos a meter esa, vamos a meter esa. No, sin camisa, él ataca 1 contra 1, sin camisa. Porque 6 segundos no podemos hacer.
All the emotions of an Olympic qualifying tournament game playing out on your screen. The bench is getting involved. They know how much is at stake. Of course, there's 2 round robin games and there's semi-finals and a final. So 2 out of 3 teams in the group make it through, but it means every game, every quarter, every minute matters. Only 1 team out of 6 here in Riga goes through.
It's brutal. That's the only way to describe it. The prize is immense, but the process is brutal.
So just under 8 seconds left. Marcelinho has it at the baseline.
Top Benishi's in the game. Wouldn't be surprised on a Huertas penetration or a Neto penetration to a Benishi 3.
He's waiting for it. Vitor Benici. Neto instead has to put up a tough shot. And he gets fouled.
That's gonna frustrate Coach Radovic. 0.9 of a second, you defend the play, you make him make a tough one, and then you give him 2 free throws, because there was no need to foul it. If he made that, he made that.
Bit of frustration there from Kendrick Perry as well. He's had a really positive start to the game with the 6 points, but you're right, a foul he really didn't need to commit. 0.9 seconds left, and in the right hands. I was going to say he's a really good free throw shooter, but of course he proves me wrong.
Well, he went 1 for 2 the last time. He's an 80+% free throw shooter across his career, and he's at the minute, at best, he's going to be 50% from the line in this first half.
And he puts the second one down. So a consolation point. That one doesn't fly for Kendrick Perry, but what a first half from Montenegro. Came in arguably as the underdogs in this game, but they come into halftime with a 42-36 lead over Brazil here in Riga. You know, we've seen lots of highlights from Caboclo, we've seen Neto provide a bit of a spark, but when you look at these game stats, it's been Montenegro who's been pretty solid all round. You look at that free throw percentage, 9 from 9 is pretty important.
And also Brazil have struggled, you know, from the three-point line. They're normally an effective three-point shooting team. Montenegro got to the offensive glass early. They shade the rebound numbers as well. But there you see the Caboclo and Huertas. Now, like Huertas, I was not predicting him having a double-digit first half. But at the same breath, I wasn't predicting Montenegro of a 42-point first half. I thought they would keep the tempo much slower. Here's the two guys we talked about before, in terms of key personnel in the game. Caboclo has just had a phenomenal 6 from 9 from the floor. I think his battle with Vucevic as the game progressed, he was starting to win that, because at the beginning of the game, it was impossible for Brazil to stop Vucevic. And he has his, you mentioned, hadn't scored in the second quarter. When he came back in, he was out of rhythm, but Caboclo did a great job actually guarding him without picking up that third foul. And all that's meant for the crowd is highlight after highlight after highlight, because Caboclo plays the game above the ring.
He really owned that second period as well. We know Brazil got off to that slow start. To Coach Petrovic's credit, he kept him on. We know he was in that foul trouble, kept him on the floor, kept that energy going, and although they're not in the lead now, they're in a really good position to attack. We know the 10th Montenegrin team is young, they're inexperienced. Do they tire up in the second half? Who knows? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's obviously really difficult, but if you've got Vucevic on the inside, you've always got something to build things from that inside. But it really does come down. That look there, the standstill jump shot off penetration, made a lot of shots like that when Brazil really did protect, really did make the player with the ball make a play. They were shooting much lower percentages, and if Brazil can maintain that and they can deal with Vucevic, then they've got enough, and that sparks their offense. They can get points in transition. I'm just so impressed with the way Montenegro came out and said, right, we're going to run this way, we're going to move the basketball, we'll go inside to our man whenever we can, and they got what they wanted, and that's what they, okay, they're only up 6. They were up double digits at one point. They've got a way of winning this game. For me, it just comes down to how much defense Brazil can play in the second half. If they play enough defense, they have a chance to win.
All the important questions set to be answered. We're going to take a little break here at halftime as Montenegro lead Brazil 42-36. Do not go anywhere.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
blanket. Gabriel and the king of South Sudan again with the rim rocker. Juba Airlines one more time.
Schroeder gets in, he goes fast. I don't think they were ready for that. And the blinding speed of Dennis Schroeder.
Holding on, he'll give it to his buddy. What a knob. Hey, remember the name. Doncic hits Horvat. No, it's blocked. Exum there on the read. Mills, extra pass, gives it to the guy with the big block.
Well, he does it with the spectacular save at one end, and then trailing down, Patty Mills finds him for the two-hand stuff.
Petrusa gets in for the dunk.
What a great move.
Shea turns. Alexander Walker goes in for the rim rocker. Schroeder goes downhill, gets it to the corner. Franz Wagner gets in. A little bit of elevation. Oh, Cressida, what are you doing? And the alley-oop! And Banchero this time does not lay it up. He scores right at the end of the third quarter buzzer.
What do you call this?
Between the legs, alley-oop pass.
Yes! I love it, Jeff. Yes!
I'm sure you can have something better.
Finding Bogdanovic. Turnaround, quick shot, takes it. Bogdanovic, Troika. Well, coach, it may be Troika time. He's made the three-pointer. They're going into the halftime break with a 2-point lead.
Oh, a good miss. The USA got it. Bridget from the corner. You have got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. A play for the ages at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Bridges does the unthinkable. Ties the game. 0.2 seconds left.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back to Riga in Latvia. It's been the Nikola Vucevic show for Montenegro so far as they lead Brazil 42-36. Vucevic with the handy 8 points and 6 rebounds. Mark Clark, we knew he'd be a factor coming into this game, and he's proven to be hard work for the Brazil team.
Well, in the first quarter in particular, he was dominant, but then the introduction of Caboclo just changed the game. He was still a dominant factor, obviously, but those 8 points came in the first quarter. And the 3 for 7 reflects that he took those 2 threes because he had to flare to the perimeter because Caboclo just challenged everything and he lost that opportunity to just get the quick post up. So I think he needs a 20-point game. I think for Montenegro to win this, he's going to have to work a lot harder in that second half to win that battle against Bruno Caboclo.
Speaking of the man himself, the top scorer for Brazil, 12 points, 6 from 9 from 2-point range. And a lot of those have been dunks, mind you. This highlight reel is one to watch. Look at that. The athleticism he's shown in this first half, Mark, it's been so entertaining to watch.
The interesting thing, Coach Petrovic didn't start with him, and then when he put him in, though, after 7 minutes, he didn't come out. Even though he picked up those 2 fouls, but he runs the floor, he's tough to guard if he catches the ball in the high post, but he just runs the floor, well, like a deer from that respect. Yeah, he just gets there better than anybody else, changes shots. The slight concern will be if he picks up his 3rd foul, or does Coach Petrovic say, hey, look, he's got 5 fouls, I'm gonna let him use them because we need him that much. And not a lot wrong with that philosophy if he can see out a majority of the minutes in the second half, because I think both teams are going to find a way to guard those 2 guys. Caboclo, guard those 2, and then you start to really assert an advantage.
And the funny thing is, those 2 have matched up on each other, you know, throughout the second period. We saw Felicio from Brazil really struggling to contain Vucevic at the start, and then once he came off, he didn't come back on. Caboclo was doing the job offensively and defensively, so he has to play, really, for as long as he can.
Absolutely. But then, like we said about Marko Simonovic from Montenegro, who came in for Vucevic, he just played really hard. Bumped around, got to the glass, took his open shot when it was available. He knew he's going to be on that block of minutes just to rest. He's a better player than just someone who spells people, but Vucevic was going to come back. So if you're Felicio now, you should be like, right, when Caboclo needs to come out, I'm just going to work Vucevic so hard. If I play 5, if I play 6, I'm just going to work that, because he did not work that hard when he started the game. And it's surprisingly, it's an opportunity. You're in the world, you're in this on the world stage, an Olympic qualifier. I'm starting against like an NBA double-double every week. I want to go for this, and he really didn't get to the game. He didn't really physically take him on. And that's where Brazil dug that little hole. And they've got out of it now. I mean, it's a 6-point game. This is set up really nicely as you look at the numbers. None of these numbers are like, oh wow, both teams are playing well. But what we've seen is a physical confrontation at the defensive end that are forcing people to take tough shots.
It's sort of 2 different styles of basketball as well. We've seen the athleticism and the tricks and all the circus type of shots from Brazil, whereas Montenegro, they're just hard work, driving in, getting those good 3-point looks. It really is entertaining to watch 2 different styles of basketball go up against each other.
It's in talking to a number of people, preparing for this. Can Brazil get out of this qualifier? And most of their thoughts were, well, if they can play consistently, if they can put 40 minutes on the floor, they could beat anybody here. And in the World Cup, they had that problem. They'd have minutes where they would make some poor decisions or they wouldn't work hard on the glass. And for me, this thing that we've been talking about, can they keep their guy in front of them? Can they make the guy play off the dribble? They've shown that when they do that, Montenegro struggle. They haven't done it the whole game. So that's going to be a real test for them. Can they do the basic things really well? Because then their talent down the other end will allow them to score points. And the one person before we get off Brazil that I give him some credit here, and you did it in commentary, Neto had a horrible injury in the World Cup.
Yep.
And that's only months ago. It's not his importance to Brazil and their loss of not having him in that World Cup after the first game. You can see why, what a factor he is. He's worked so hard to get back into the physical shape to play at this level. And it's tough. You're 30 plus to come back. It's just great to see great players put in that work that he's obviously put in.
So Neto, the 32-year-old in the game. Huertas or Marcelino, the 41-year-old in the game as well. I mean, it's their veterans stepping up time and time again. It feels like we farewell them after every major tournament, but they keep showing up. It's amazing to their credit that they keep doing it, and they deserve their spots in the team right now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, I know Nikola Vucic is 33 years old. As a big man, the pounding you put your body through, he's playing week in, week out, minutes on the floor in the NBA. You've got to work hard. This is not... They haven't worked that hard to be on this stage on a regular basis. And I know Vucevic is the same. He's the guy that works hard. They wouldn't be at this level without all that effort. We see the highlights. They put in the grind, and it's great to see. But Coach Radovic in this huddle now, He needs touches on the inside. He needs his main man getting to 20, and then the others will get their shots.
Let's take a little listen.
You don't get past best and play pick and pop, okay? Chin down, first one, second one, okay? Deep side, chin down.
So really massive first few minutes coming up for both teams. I mean, as Brazil explode out of the blocks and just show their experiences, Montenegro keep going there. Sort of the unanswered questions, and we're going to see Brazil go with Iago, Caboclo, Benici, some interesting experience there. Di Santos and Diaz. And then Montenegro has got Peri, Vucevic, Doncic, Popovic, and Hadžibegovic. So Caboclo stays on again.
Oh yeah, and Hadžibegovic started the game, and he really did have a no game in terms of you know, stats-wise. Apart, yeah, he really was just out there doing a decent job. But he's someone who can bring some energy, and that's the way he can complement Vucevic on the inside. He's got to play with energy, get on the glass, play great defense and rebound, and then he'll be fulfilling the role.
Welcome back to Arena Riga in Latvia, where it's Montenegro leading Brazil as we tip off this third period in this opening game of the Olympic qualifying tournament. It's going to be Montenegro 42-36 leading the way. They're going to try and get the first bucket of the half, and it just rolls out for Vucevic.
Well, you got to love where they got the ball to, and I think Vucevic will be so frustrated he didn't finish that play. If it had been Caboclo, we'd have seen another throwdown.
Absolutely. Iago now. Benici for his first look of the game. Doncic has been solid on the boards.
Oh, Doncic has had a super game, I think. He is one of those guys that's going to be around for a little while for Montenegro.
Here he is on cue, trying to get around Caboclo. He's been the main man of this game, really. Di Santos happy to tap it away.
And like Diaz in the game now with Caboclo, those two played a lot of time together in the World Cup. Diaz he's the man who's almost free. If Vucic's guarding Caboclo, he's got to be all over the glass. He's really got to bring some energy. And he just picks up quite a soft foul, let's just put it that way. Again, he's got to play harder.
So Montenegro get another chance here. Hadžibegovic, Peri. Peri with the 6 points so far this game. Finds an open Hadžibegovic, and Caboclo is able to grab the rebounds. He's going to sprint off to the other end and try and get that throwdown. Iago looking for him. Caboclo double teamed immediately. Now 1-on-1 with Vucevic. What a move!
I thought the opportunity had gone, but then when he got it the second time and went through the contact, tough, just tough.
Popovic now. Montenegro's lead closed down to 4. Peri falls short.
This is not a great start to this half by Montenegro.
Crucial hand there from Hadžibegovic. Defensive end though.
When you come out of the half time, is it really Hadžibegovic get the three? Is that the option? Is that the... Apart from the first play when it went straight down the middle, it's been shots that Brazil will be glad they took.
Montenegro breathe a sigh of relief as Brazil missed a couple of shots there.
Yeah, Benici has had 2 good looks and hasn't made either.
Popovic stuck up the top there. Vucevic trying to work with Doncic, and he scoops it back to Benici. Iago now pulls up, can't knock it down. Nikola Vucevic happy to share it with Popovic. Montenegro just needs some calm. They can sense Brazil coming. They'd be filthy with their start, the Brazilians. And Peri, he's liked the look of that shot, but he hasn't been able to complete it on a few occasions. Doncic now backing down on Santos. That is a tough shot.
Back to Nenga. There was a lot of physicality on the way up. It was really solid, used the glass. Great little finish.
So quiet the way he goes about it, Radonjic, but he's making such a big impact. And here he is again on the defensive end.
Well, the dilemma for Coach Petrovic is that Bonici's in there to shoot the ball. He's had 3 really good looks and hasn't. I don't think, I think his time might be limited.
Popovic, that's a really nice little finger roll into the basket. Just being calm, they're picking the right shots. This time Giers was fouled. Coach Petrovic there looking to make a substitution, and Hal Neto back in the game for Bonici, and I think it's the right move. Bonici hasn't quite had the impact he would have wanted to start this third term, and they've got to stop this man, Dino Radonjic. As we mentioned, doing it on both ends and working really hard for this Montenegrin team. Iago one way and the other. 4 red shirts around him. Caboclo, does he go again? Oh, he does! This time he makes it in. And on the defensive end, it's Iago with the hustle. And he's going for 2 shots. So good patch of play there from Brazil. Iago trying to make the shot on the offensive end, and Popovic interfered, but Caboclo just went under Vucevic. That is such a hard thing to execute in the air, mind you. He still makes it in. Unbelievable game from him so far. And you can see how frustrated the bench is. I mean, there's not much more Vucevic could have done there.
Absolutely nothing else. Once you let him get it a little downhill, get to the ring, you're not stopping him. They can't block him as such. Just begs the question, right? He looks NBA big man, like athletic big quality. And he's had these little spells in the NBA, and you're like, someone better take a chance on him.
Sense the right people are watching at the moment. And with the way he's going, his chance could come quickly. 12 points and 5 rebounds for Caboclo. Sorry, 18 points, 8 rebounds, bringing the wrong stats. Vucevic backing him down, and Caboclo meets him again.
And earlier in the game, that wasn't happening. Vucevic was just bullying his way to get the shot. He created the space well enough, and then just needs to arc this little jump hook a little more. So he's making a statement here. One-on-one, he's making a statement, and that could be the spark that gets Brazil the result they want, and almost entirely down to the way he's come into the game after the first 7 minutes.
See Vucevic on 2 fouls now, so the 2 stars of the game both have to be a bit wary in this second half.
Someone else has got to step up, though, and neither team can leave it just to those guys.
Absolutely. We've seen Radonjic have a really good start to the third period for Montenegro. Neto and Marcelinho have been playing good roles for Brazil. Petar Popovic, Caboclo. Iago again pushing the pace. Radonjic right there with him. Iago confronted by Montenegrin defenders. Back up the top. Iago and Neto share it around. Iago making Hadzibegovic work. Good battle one there. It's a good bit of defense in this little patch here from Montenegro. Brazil have been pushing the pace, going one way, going the other, but Montenegro just stood tall.
Big 4 seconds.
Neto can't put up the tough shot. And that is a really good effort from the Montenegro team. Still with that 4-point lead. Nikola Vucevic up to 8 points and 8 rebounds for the game. Made double-doubles in each of Montenegro's practice games. He loves representing his country.
Absolutely.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. He goes to nearly every major tournament. Perry now. Also loves representing his country, and there'll be a whistle in the middle of all that. So foul starting to come into the game a little bit.
And it's disappointing if you're Iago, because Perry just did a great job at creating a little space and then just moving into that. But Iago's got to be a bit smarter. You don't need the foul there. You've got to rely on the rest of your team to give you some help.
He's up to his second as well, sorry. Iago's up to his second. Santos, another one with the NBA experience, playing for Golden State and suited up 23 times for them this season. Perry now. Again, using that sort of step back shot. It doesn't fall this time. Iago liked the look of Giaz, and he's able to bank home his first points. So good for Giaz, the way he recognized where he had, just stopped with the handbrake on, and they just threw the ball into the space. Easy to. Simonovic using that high-low action, but Caboclo was there to interrupt. Surprise, surprise. Uses Santos, who pushes the pace. Giaz, can he get back-to-back buckets? That one just falls short. Now Perry can just slow things down. It's a 2-point game at the moment. They still have the chance to take the lead for the first time if they keep hustling, but Perry wants to interrupt that. Gets it back. 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Neto couldn't handle it. Yeah, if people are questioning, let's just say questioning Giaz. I mean, he shot 40% from the three-point line across the World Cup. I mean, he's a spot-up stretch four, and if you're shooting that sort of percentage on a regular basis, you're open in transition. He just hasn't made the shots he'd expect to make, and that's, at the moment, Brazil just needs to get over this hump. They just need to get to the lead. Montenegro, as you said, like Perry just needs to maintain and keep the scoreboard ticking over for Montenegro. Here he is, Kendrick Perry sends Santos flying out of court, and Kendrick Perry nails the triple. Big moments, big players, that's all Perry did then. Got the guy in the air, took his time, knocked it down. How does Santos respond in this offensive set? You can see Perry's not shooting at a great clip, but the 9 points is important. Caboclo this time from beyond the arc, he can do it all! Literally. At this point in time, there isn't an aspect of the game that he is not performing in. He's blocking, he's dunking, he's banking it in, he's going for threes, 21 points, 10 from 13 from the field. It is an unbelievable stat line from Bruno Caboclo. He's in a good spot here in the paint. Can Iago spot him in a good bit of rhythm? Gets Giaz instead, doesn't go for the three, pulls up. And trouble, that is not a good move there. And have a look at this from Bruno Caboclo. 21st point for the night. He gets fired up as well, and why shouldn't he? He's put this team on his back after what was a really disappointing start, it must be said. He's come in off the bench and provided the energy, and now the game's back to a 2-point margin. And they've had a lot of good looks, Brazil. I mean, in some ways, Montenegro, apart from the Perry three, are struggling to get open looks. Brought in some energy, Ilic and Slavkovic on the floor, and Perry starting to fire up now. Carrying his team. Certainly had a lot of looks. Speaking of looks, here's Iago from the corner. Great rebound by Santos. Couldn't complete it. It's a shame for Gui Santos. He's showing a little bit. Kendrick Perry. Slavkovic, we know he's capable of knocking down a three. How does he go in the paint? He feeds Ilic. 51 plays 47, a minute, just over a minute and a half left in the third term. Leo Mendo Mendel coming onto the floor for Brazil. Looks like Marcelinho is also going to come on his first minutes. We haven't seen him in the third period, very interestingly, and Brazil have managed to keep themselves in the game without him. Kendrick Perry comes to the bench with those 11 points as well, as does Iago. The 4 points and 5 assists for him.
Interesting minute and a half here because there's a lot of rotations on both teams.
Well, Caboclo nearly got in there again.
And again, it's all about Caboclo. I mean, he started that. He disrupted offensively. They just about recovered possession on the sideline just because he shot a passing lane. Looks like Coach Petrovic may have him go the whole 20 at this rate. I don't think it's in his mind at the moment to take him out.
Simonovic with the deep three and locks the look at that. Beats the shot clock.
Here it is again. Simonovic on that. Here I am, I'm in the game, I've got to make my contribution. He is a good shooter. He's always been the guy that can shoot the basketball from deep.
Speaking of good shooters, here's Marcelinho. Caboclo. Diaz for three. Oh, he responds in the perfect way.
Credit Montenegro here now. They've kept the scoreboard ticking over. They haven't changed, they haven't panicked. They've still tried to keep executing against the Brazilian team that's much better than it was at the beginning of the game.
Simonovic thought about it again. Drobniak now. Hasn't got much room to move, but still pops it in.
Super move. Under control. Knew where he wanted to go, then ended up with a shot he wanted. Loving the way Montenegro have responded to Brazil in this third quarter.
So
Vucevic is not on the floor, nor is Perry. They're still finding a way to get it done.
Seconds ticking down here for Brazil. Mendel, Caboclo, does he get the slam? Oh, he pops it in anyway. Unbelievable from Bruno Caboclo. But Brazil still can't get that lead. He's tried his heart out, but Montenegro, they keep standing tall. And we've got it all to play for in the final 10 minutes of this game. At the end of the third quarter, it's Montenegro 56, leading Brazil 52. It's been amazing. I mean, like, you know, Brazil have had some really good looks and still they can't claim that lead. And look at their percentage now. It's going up steadily.
Well, their two-point percentage going up. Gias made the last three, so it's 2 from 10. If he starts making threes, can't say enough good things the way this Montenegro team are keep making the contributions. Perry stepped up when they really were. They'd all dried up. Then Simonovic comes in, they go back and move the basketball and get options they want. The one place that, amazingly and surprisingly, is that the matchup with Caboclo and Vucevic is going the way of the Brazilian at the moment. The only thing that Vucevic has in his favor is he's getting time on the bench. Come down the end of the game, is that going to be the decisive factor that will mean he can become a factor as this game ends? But at the moment, he is just right up offensively. Still hasn't scored since the first quarter. And you'd rather be Coach Petrovic at the moment than Coach Radovic, because the momentum feels as though it's with Brazil. But this Montenegrin team are playing really heads up. They're playing technically really proficiently, spacing the floor really well, and continually trying to get shots that they want. And the only place they're struggling is to get anything on the inside. And if you'd have said that before the game, I'd have laughed. There's no way they're going to shut down Vucevic. You know, he double-doubles in the NBA. You can't close him down. And this is not like Brazil throwing lots of bodies in. They've played him one-on-one, and they've literally closed him down and shut him down in the middle 2 quarters. Guarantee he'll be back, though. Guarantee he'll come through in this 4th quarter. I don't know if that'll be enough, but I cannot see him being stuck on 8 as this game finishes.
The 4th period now. It's all to play for here in Latvia. It's Montenegro with a 4-point lead over Brazil. Marcelinho looks to get things going. Really solid start. It's exactly the start that Brazil needed.
Just roll back the years. Go back over the last the last 20 plus years, and you would have so many examples of that shot off that play.
Now for Montenegro, the youth, Simonovic has had a couple of nice looks, and he trades another one.
Well, Huertas looks at the rest of the team and says, "We know that's not how we're defending that. Pick and pop is bread and butter for him." Again, shot they wanted. They get a shot they wanted.
Double teaming Caboclo, but he still finds Mendel. Couldn't finish it off, and then able to bank it in on the reverse. Some nice high-low action, I should say, there. Two guards working around for Montenegro. Bogavits making Neto work for it, and then pulling up. Had the right idea. Mendel's got no one ahead of him. And, oh, the foul call will be interesting here. Can see what Mendel's angling towards, but...
I don't think they're going to call that. Not that he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah. Coach Petrovic, a bit of emotion coming into the game now. It's a Brazil ball from the sideline. 3 points down. Just under 9 minutes left in this game. Up next, it's Georgia up against Latvia. Fans are starting to pile in for that game.
Well, we're going to show a 2-3 zone, which is asking Brazil to do that.
Whoa! There, Mendel gets in on the action. And here we go. It's all square here in Riga. 5 points in a few minutes for Leo Mendel. And Brazil can take the lead here. It's in the right hands. Bruno Caboclo gets Brazil in front. He has changed the game for Brazil, and they take the lead over Montenegro.
That's the way they're playing. They're playing straight up, one-on-one on the inside. That surprises me a little bit, but it doesn't surprise you. That guy is Caboclo.
Perry and Vucevic back out there. Now or never for Montenegro. Vucevic finally gets back on the score sheet.
That should give him some confidence to just begin again almost.
Marcelinho, just made that look easy.
And you can see Vucevic, do I go, do I stay? Because if I go, it's going to be Caboclo down the middle, and he had no help behind him. Huertas, the decision-making during the action is just, it's a clinic of how to play that role.
Fantastic game so far. And you can see Nikola Vucevic there with that bucket, earning himself a double-double, no surprise, at 10 points and 10 rebounds. He'll just need to keep on going from now, though. That's the important part. Perry. And Mendel took the tough rebound.
Oh, that's a tough rebound. Huge.
Mendel's been really energetic since he's come on in this fourth period. Marcelinho.
They are running a pick and roll clinic with Huertas. Absolute clinic. They ran that 3 times until they got the advantage they wanted.
14 points, 7 from 12 from the field from Marcelinho Huertas. And a great move on the other end from Simonovic.
Well, the great thing about Simonovic being in the game and being a scorer is if Caboclo's just guarding Vucevic, it takes away that ring protection. He's got to become a factor, not just from the three-point line.
Caboclo thought about the 3, goes inside. Vucevic right in his way. Wow. What a matchup this has been. Vucevic against Caboclo. This time Vucevic had his measure. See Caboclo's intentions, that's for sure. He wanted to go upstairs.
Oh, yes.
That's been his intention right from the start of the game. And you can see the bench points, 41 to 26. When you consider 25 of those are from Caboclo, it's quite remarkable.
Yep.
And there's the starters for Brazil, Felicio and Lojinho, haven't seen any game time since the first period, so interesting tactics.
It just got very dark on that penetration for Kendrick Perry. He gets to the ring, Caboclo comes over to help, and he gets rotation behind him. He had nowhere to go, did a great job throwing it off him as much as anything else.
Simonovic, he's got the hot hand at the moment, and that is why he is not missing. Marko Simonovic. 15 points now for the game, 5 rebounds to go with it too. Don't forget the 3 dimes as well. He's played a fantastic game. Here he is again on the boards. Scores level.
Does Coach Petrovic bring Iago back? Has he got enough out of Huertas? Because Iago still gives him that extra pace.
Looks ready as Vucevic taps that one in, and Montenegro back in front in this fourth period. The bench are up and about. Just over 5 minutes left in this game, and I can't tip a winner. It's got a great ending coming up. Heaps of momentum swings, Mark. It's been quite amazing to watch.
And we keep going on about that matchup between Vucevic and Caboclo, and you can see Vucevic gets his 2, then he gets that little putback. The play before, he kept it alive, and Caboclo had to come off and help, and someone else scores. It's around those 2. The whole game revolves around those 2. At the moment, Simonovic is the man who stepped up to take advantage of that. And will Brazil get someone to do the same? Well, it looked like they were going to get that as GS made a 3 or as Mendel made a 3. I think they've got to bring Iago back. As much as I'm a Marcelino Huertas fan, I think he's a superb player, playing great. Down the end of the game, is Iago going to give him some easier options? That's the big decision going on in Coach Petrovic's head, I assume. Diaz is back, and I think that if he started to stroke the 3 like he was, that's a good move for Brazil. Neto's in the game, so he's got that the guy that can break it down. But he stays with Huertas, so why wouldn't you? I know we were asked, I was saying maybe don't, but why wouldn't you? In this moment, you need experience and great decision making, and that's him.
Second top scorer in his team, of course, besides Caboclo.
It's remarkable in itself.
14 points and 4 rebounds for the 41-year-old. Turning back the clock, as is Hal Neto. And they work together at the top. Neto now finds Mendel, who's like this range this game, and gets fouled as well. That is a tough shot. And Leo Mendel took it all on his own. Slavkovic just went under at the crucial time. And Leo Mendel made him pay. He's fired up. And he heads to the free throw line to put Brazil 2 points in front of this hungry Montenegrin team. You can see Slavkovic up to the 2 fouls as well, and beyond all that. So how do Montenegro respond? Vucevic, been their man. but it gets slapped away from him, and Marcelinho, with all the experience, reset this up for Brazil. The Brazil fans getting up and about, they're getting behind their team. Momentum really starting to swing their way as Caboclo goes inside, feeds Neto.
There's a lot of size protecting that ring right there. Did a really nice job at staying clean and not being forced to foul.
Very happy to slow things down, just for the time being. Neto hits the deck. Oh, he's holding his leg, and still on the floor is Hal Neto. I'll have to stop the game here. Everyone just holds their breath.
Yeah.
He's the last person you want to get an injury. You know what injury he suffered in that World Cup, and you can see him going down with Perry there. Seems to be holding the back of that leg, that sort of hamstring region, so he'll head on the bench.
He walked out under his own steam. That's a good sign. Just bring in a guy who plays for the Golden State Warriors and see how you can finish the game.
Not a bad option to have.
Santos gives them a little bit more defensively as well, and I think that is going to be as big as anything else in these last 4 minutes.
Iago still staying on the bench, interestingly, for Brazil. Marcelinho gets it slapped away from him, and ooh, the foul call. Radonjic can't believe it. So everyone...
Back here in the gym.
Yeah, hello.
Trying to relax before a huge game later this evening. Great article on the FIBA website. Read it. There's a lot of places to see it. Super article about the effect it's had on Latvian basketball. Just take a read. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Speaks about his time in Italy and not coaching the national team until 2021. And look what he's done. Best coach at the World Cup. And he's got a bit to work with here. But Brazil, they're putting on the show here in Riga. Dias getting a really nice look. And Brazil out to a 5-point lead. Lucas Dias has liked the look of his three-pointers this game. Nails it from the corner. That is a big, big shot. Lucas Dias, he's been super impressive. 8 points, a couple of assists as well to add to his game. It's been the bigs, really. We've seen Simonovic at the other end as well. They're lining it up from beyond the arc.
Absolutely, and it's, as long as you keep taking the shots you're supposed to take, and Dias and Mendel for Brazil in particular, great three-point shooters. So, like, okay, you missed a couple of shots, but they're still good shots. Like, take them statistically as the game wears on, they're going to make them. And now it's a 5-point lead. That's a big, not an insurmountable margin for Montenegro to recover. But they've got to do what Brazil did. They've got to be able to contain the dribble. And at the moment, Huertas is getting such a reaction out of the pick and roll that they're doing a really good job coming out of that, finding the open guy. They've just got to decide how they run the pick and roll defense. They showed that zone for a while. You're 5 down before you go. Do you want to go back to that? Probably not.
Big play here coming up for Montenegro, and they're going to go quick. Petar Popovic flying down the court, getting it to Perry. And now Simonovic, the leading scorer for this Montenegrin team. Caboclo not giving Vucevic an inch of space. He does get it in the end, and Caboclo's there to meet him.
That's just... Caboclo starts it by his defense, but Santos' reaction to the pass, trying to create some doubt and some decisions for Vucevic to make was exceptional. And again, the rotation behind, and that's so difficult in a short preparation cycle. And Coach Petrovic, as we said, knows how to get teams ready. And his guys are really putting on a great second half performance right now.
Third foul for Vucevic. Montenegro in a bit of foul trouble at the moment. Referees are going to come together. Every decision quite crucial as we approach the dying minutes of this game. 3 minutes 40 left, a 5-point lead for Brazil. Montenegro have led at every change. But Brazil, they're coming up clutch late in this game. Know what's at stake. They want that ticket to Paris. Fighting hard for it. Although Montenegro are not going down without a fight. Perry gets fouled. I reckon he was shooting, but not too sure.
That was shooting. I think we've shot it.
Yeah.
We talked about the pick and roll defense. They did a much better job, not in the pick and roll, but the guys rotating around off it, got the hands, got a deflection, and come up with a steal. And there's always going to be that action and reaction, decision, and counter it. And we've got great coaches doing that in a tough situation. Vucevic has got to get a touch of the basketball. It doesn't have to be the scorer here, but they have to make sure Cabalcao is playing defense and not just hanging around protecting the ring.
Simonovic is just as good an option. He drives on Giers. And Vucevic, there's the touch. And there's the bucket.
Simonovic has been exceptional in this second half. He had a good first half, but he's been exceptional.
So too is Leo Mendel. He's really come into the game. Caboclo can't get him to go. Crucial bit of rebounding there from Montenegro. Can they draw the scores level here? We'll get it back within a point. 2.5 minutes left in this game. Perry was fouled.
It's only the second team foul for Brazil.
Montenegro, on the other hand, have 4 team fouls, so 2 different stories here playing out. So we know it hasn't quite been Perry's night in terms of efficiency, but 11 points. He's had every possible look he can have. Working hard for his team. Here he is again. Goes for the deep triple. Marcelino's happy to take the rebound there and calm things down.
And this is why Marcelino Huertas is still in the game, because controlling the game, managing the game, that's what Coach Petrovic has gone for. I'm not sure if that's that, though. He looked like he wanted to pass, and then had to shoot it, because, again, Montenegro did a really nice job defensively on the pick and roll.
So here we go, under 2 minutes left, and Brazil come up with the steal. Gui Santos can bake it home and have the actual shot to come with it. Gui Santos showing all the potential he has here in Riga. A great steal by Leo Mendel. And Gui Santos, the Golden State Warriors guard, gets himself a beautiful basket and one to come. Injects some energy into that Brazilian bench. Montenegro, a bit of work to do now, 1:51 left. Santos makes no mistake on the three-point play. And we'll see a timeout being called in the arena. Under 2 minutes left. Montenegro was the one who called the timeout. What has Coach Radovic got left in his bag of tricks? His team down by 6, under 2 minutes left. It's a big task, but they've been fantastic this game. They've been resilient.
Well, this is his last timeout as well. This is his last throw of it. Whatever he wants to get across, he's going to have to get it across now. You'd expect him to advance it so he gets a quicker shot, but there's 2 ways. There's 2 trains of thought on that one, but it's a hard. Both teams have made some slight adjustments and they're dealing with the pick and roll a little better. That was the turnover that generated the last points for Brazil, but you've got to give Vucevic a touch. Still would say you've got to give him a touch, or get him involved in the pick and take Caboclo out of the keyway and see if you can generate an advantage out of that. Simonovic is knocking down the 3, so giving him an open look. Popovic has had a good game. Everyone on the floor should be positive for Montenegro. Just got to create that open look. But if there's a big difference in the game as this game has gone on, it's Brazil have just played a lot better defensively as the game has developed.
Outscored Montenegro 23 points to 13 in this 4th period. Outscored them 16 to 14, so they've got the second half on their terms. Can they get the game on their terms? Just under 2 minutes left. Brazil hold the 5-point lead. Coach Radovic has advanced that ball.
They can throw it straight inside here, because the way they're going to run Vucevic away from the ball, they could just throw it straight into Simonovic, but he didn't want it. That wasn't what they were looking for.
Popovic takes a tumble, and so does Santos. Bodies flying everywhere. Off the back of this timeout, Radoncic, he hits the deck as well. He's feeling it a bit too. A few nasty falls in those few seconds. But that just shows that what it means and how desperate each team is. There's only 2 round-robin games. You've really got to make them both count. Santos on screen. He's shown some really promising signs. We've seen that all season for Golden State. He's been a real spark in these 23 games, showed a lot of glimpses. He's the future of this Brazil team. Hendrick Perry gets it slapped away from him. It's desperate stuff here from Caboclo as he hits the deck. And defensively again. They're just hustling here, Brazil.
I mean, how much more can Caboclo give you? I mean, he's now like reaching and knocking the ball out of Hendrick Perry's hands. He's playing his switch. He showed hard on the screen, both ends of the floor. He literally didn't start the game, came in after 7 minutes and has played the whole game. He's got an engine here, both ends of the floor. At one point I thought maybe he's going to get tired, maybe no, he has been, he just keeps going. He is in great condition, and I really do think he's relished the challenge of Vucevic, and I think he believes, and he rightly believes, that he has won that battle today so far. Brazil are going to challenge this.
Take a listen.
Give me the camera. Okay, but cannot be, because Jimmy, go back. Okay, we have a first possession. And then it is possession of the ball. He gets the control of the ball, and then it means we have it for the red team. Front court, 14 seconds for the front court for the red team. Okay, after review, we confirm the game clock to be on 14 seconds. That's okay. Game clock 14. Lost control.
So Montenegrin ball out of all of that. 1:30 left in the game. Down 69-74. It's in the right hands. Vucevic gets it to Perry now. Perry driving, finding Vucevic. This will be huge. Nikola Vucevic steps up to the moment and puts them back within 3. Just over a minute left. 17 points for Vucevic. Mendel now for Brazil. He's been lining it up from 3-point range. He can't get it to go. Caboclo can't quite hold on to the rebound. Santos hits the deck. Perry's right there with him. Marcelinho, Gies, Mendel, Marcelinho, the veteran, the game winner! Unbelievable! Marcelinho Huertas, 17 points for the game. He puts his side up 78-72. That is clutch from the 41-year-old. Simonovic, he's had a fantastic game. Goes under Gies, the shot was always going to be short. And there was a foul on Marcelinho, and you can see the passion. That's what it means to him.
Why would I even consider talking to Coach Petrovic about going to Iago from the bench? Huertas has just run this game in the fourth quarter. Every single aspect of this game he has run, including he's missed a couple of shots, but he has been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Caboclo's been the difference maker in so many ways. but if you had to give the ball to someone to get yourself over the line, he's still up there with the best. Marcelino Huertas, different class.
Iago's very happy to watch on the bench.
Absolutely.
You know, the benefit of that is it leaves him fresh for the next game coming up. A really important one for Brazil. Cameroon on Thursday night coming up for them. Montenegro doesn't get, oh sorry, Montenegro up against Cameroon as well. So both teams up against the team from Africa. Perry now. Not much he can do. Mendel runs out the clock. Leo Mendel gets fouled as well. Another 2 shots coming up for Brazil. They've played this game beautifully. They didn't let the Montenegro start scare them. They were diligent, they used the right bodies, kept the right people on the floor, used the right rotations, and that's why Coach Petrovic deserves a few high fives.
Absolutely right. And we said right before the game, he's been here and done this, you know, getting a team to the Olympic Games through the qualification system. You can't replace the experience that has. And maybe someone will ask him in the press conference, you know, why did you, is it 7 minutes and then Caboclo comes in and plays the rest? Who knows?
And Mendel, it has to be stated how much impact he's had as well in this 4th period. Montenegro, a prayer to finish, but Brazil have won the first game of the Olympic qualifying tournament here in Riga, the capital city of Latvia. They were down at every break. They needed to work hard for this. It was Bruno Caboclo putting on a show, 25 points, 9 rebounds. It was Marcelino Huertas, the game winner, and the final score, Brazil 81, defeating Montenegro 72. And it was Brazil's experience that just shone through in the end. Capped off by this man on screen, Marcelino Huertas, hitting the game-winning triple. Not showing any signs of slowing down.
He got quicker.
Absolutely.
That's just phenomenal. 17 points. I mean, he put in a shift in terms of minutes. Huertas, he just did everything he needed to do. 22 minutes, 17 points. Yeah, normal. He's passing the ball, controlling things, managing the game. And he's put Brazil into a prime spot to make the semi-finals. Because you've got to take this one step at a time. And Caboclo, just the stat line tells you everything you need to know about. But let's not be too down on Montenegro. I feel they put a tremendous game on the floor. The difference being Caboclo just won that battle a little bit. We said Brazil would get better from the three-point line, 40% in the end. They made big shots down the end because they took the good shots that they needed to take. Montenegro still won it on the glass. They shared the ball, both teams, really well. It's a great game to watch. But at the end of the day, Caboclo in particular, Huertas, that's a story in itself. This game throws up lots of stories, and there's none bigger than Huertas' 17 points for me. Absolutely phenomenal performance by the veteran. I thought we were waving goodbye to him in Jakarta in the World Cup. No, maybe there's another 4 years. He could be here forever. Tremendous performance by him and a tremendous performance by Brazil. And once they started playing defense, they ignited the way Brazil have to play this game.
Marcelino now hoping to play at his 3rd Olympics, and of course we see the player of the game, the well-deserved player of the game, of course, Bruno Caboclo. Talked about Marcelino's impact, but Caboclo, you mentioned, came on at the 7th minute, didn't come off, 25 points and 9 rebounds. It's an instrumental performance, and you'll see him feature in a lot of these highlights. If we take a look at the 4th quarter best players, and as you mentioned, it was the experience. Marcelino Huertas stepped up. We saw Vucevic get a few good looks as we wanted to from Montenegro. And to their credit, the likes of Simonovic, Radoncic, there's a really bright future for them. They should take a lot from this game.
Absolutely, and if they win the game against Cameroon, they'll set themselves up in the semi-final. They're not a team that anyone's going to look at and go, oh, we're okay, we got the 2nd place team if that's where they finish. But there was a period in that 4th quarter, and we'll get some looks at it, where Huertas and Caboclo just ran the game with a pick. the on-ball pick. There you see the layup because they didn't know if they needed to help. There's the reposition, and he goes down the lane, get a little runner off the one leg. It was just make the right decision in that little pocket underneath the screen. Controlled the offense, and when the defense sucked in, he threw it to the corner. Mendel, Diaz just knocked down threes. It was just a clinic of how to get advantage out of the pick and roll from probably one of the best exponents of it in the world over the last 15 years or so. Just an exhibition. I'm so pleased I've been here to see him play at that level, at that age, and age is just a number. He was phenomenal, and Kaboklu was phenomenal. And hey, Coach Petrovich did a great job in managing the way that they won the game. And at the end of the day, that's all his job is.
And the thing is as well, he's kept his bench very fresh. We know we saw Iago not play for the whole third term, Felicio, Lozada. There's still heaps of really good names on that bench that played really limited minutes. It leaves them really fresh for that Cameroon game.
Absolutely.
And potentially that semi-final if they get there.
Yeah, and they just need, the only negative, I suppose, they want to find out how good Neto is after that injury.
Absolutely, that'll be unideal. But as we take a look at how Group B sits at the moment, Brazil obviously on top with that win, Montenegro second, and we'll see Cameroon in action tomorrow. That'll be really exciting. They've had a few good looks in their practice games, and they're full of potential and excitement and highlights. But tonight, the highlights belong to Brazil. Montenegro put in a really good fight, but Brazil came through with the win, 81-72. Of course, up next, we've got Georgia and Latvia here at Arena Riga in Latvia. But we're going to wrap things up for the opening game of the Olympic qualifying tournament. It was Brazil claiming victory over Montenegro by 9 points.